In this video, I'm going to be prepping my new DaySix Arrows for fletchings, which means I'm going to be starting with squaring and cleaning them, and then I'll be installing these Outsert systems, as well as some of these Bohning arrow wraps. So, aside from your inserts or outserts, and your arrow wraps, a couple other things you might want would be some kind of Sharpie. I like this silver one because it contrasts the carbon arrows, but a lot of people will use black Sharpies just as easily. A squaring tool, which might look like this one from Lumenok, or maybe just a basic little biscuit like this one. And then you want some paper towels and Q-tips for cleaning to go along with this 91% isopropyl alcohol. Then you'll want your epoxy for your inserts, some broadheads maybe to spin test once you get your inserts glued in, and then a spin tester to spin test your inserts before they set. And then I like to have a multi-tool also, and for your arrow wraps, you're going to want some kind of pretty thick magazine. Alrighty, so now that you have everything you need, the first thing I've started out with doing is squaring my arrows. So first off, you're going to want to take your Sharpie and go through and color all the ends of each arrow. And honestly, it's probably not very necessary with these DaySix arrows because they have such tight tolerances on everything, but I just like to do it myself so that I know for sure that everything is all the same, and then any problems with my shot is most likely a problem with my form or execution of the shot instead of the gear that I'm using. So, squaring them is pretty self-explanatory with tools like this. I don't know if you can see that with the lighting, but this end is silver right now, and you're just going to set it on there and keep your pressure down and towards the sanding disc. Alrighty, so now that you've squared both ends of all your shafts, the next thing I'm going to do is take isopropyl alcohol and clean each end of each shaft, just like that, with the isopropyl, and then I'm going to wipe down the whole outside of the shaft with the alcohol in a paper towel because I want that whole shaft clean when I put on the arrow wraps next. Now my arrows are cleaned and it's time to put some wraps on. So I already have one wrap lined up with this edge of the magazine, so I'm just going to line the arrow up with this edge and then make sure that the arrow is square this way with the wrap, and you just simply roll it on. So let's see how I do. Here we go. Pretty easy. And for small diameter shafts like this, I believe the outside diameter of these 300 spine DaySixes is like 0.253 inches. And the size small boning wraps just have a slight bit of overlap. You can't even tell it's there, so definitely take that into consideration. And for the last part in preparing your arrows, you're going to want to glue your inserts in, which these insert-outsert systems from DaySix have a couple extra steps. Anyways, I've already got my epoxy mixed up here, and you're going to want to unscrew the outsert and the sleeve. And then I've already built quite a few of these now, so I like to get glue, just a really small amount, really spread all the way around this outsert portion and the insert portion that goes inside of your arrow.
I don't really worry about getting any glue inside of this thing because the glue on the outsert spreads in there good when you slide them together. You'll want to work them in and out as you put it on there. Screw it together with the glue on, and then glue the last little bit that you were holding here. And then you'll want to get the epoxy, anyways, not glue, on the last 3/4 of your arrow here. And then the same kind of thing. You just slide it on there and work it in and out a little bit and all the way down. And then you wipe off the excess and let them dry vertically with the weight pushing down on the insert. I'll go ahead and do one real quick. I like to use toothpicks also as opposed to Q-tips for spreading it on there at least. So, I have a good amount on there. I kind of try to get a little bit more on the insert portion as opposed to the outsert. And work it in, kind of spinning it in circles and going in and out a little bit before you go all the way in. Screw it together. And I'm going to spread some glue on the last bit of the insert there. And just get a little bit more on the end of my arrow. Alrighty, now we're going to work the two on together. Same motion. And sometimes there'll be a little bit of pressure that keeps pushing the insert out. I just kind of keep working it. Oh wow. Sometimes there'll be like air bubbles in there and stuff that really push it out. And that can be amplified also if you keep your knocks in. So I would recommend taking your knocks out. And on top of using a Q-tip to wipe the excess, I also kind of like just using a paper towel. After I wipe one last time and make sure it's clean,
It's a good thing to spin it a couple times to make sure that everything is aligned properly, which I don't see any wobble on this, so I'm just going to leave it like it is. I wiped all the glue off, and I'm going to let it dry with the point end down.